The University of Dayton spring graduation ceremony for the year 2018 is herewith convened. Graduates, as you processed, you were given a medal bearing on one side the image of Blessed William Joseph Chaminade, the founder of the Society of Mary, the religious order that sponsors the University of Dayton. On the other side is the seal of the university. In Chaminade's ever-inspiring example, we entrust you to go forth living humbly, acting boldly, and working imaginatively and prayerfully to build community throughout the human family. At this time, I invite you to place your medal around your neck in concert with the colors of our university. In prayer for our community and communities everywhere, let us pause for an invocation by Father James Fitz. Please remain standing at the conclusion of the prayer for the singing of the national anthem by Catherine Bro, class of 2019. Father Fitz.
Let us pray. God of mercy and love, during their years of study here at the university, you have graciously formed our law graduates through many and varied experiences. In spite of the diversity of their journeys, they are united this day in joy and thanksgiving for all the ways you have brought wisdom to their lives. All of us gathered here join them in these sentiments. We thank you for the talents and abilities given to them, for the insight and learning shared with them, and for the persons, especially their families, who have walked with them and supported them with love. Thank you for these gifts of life and love. But this day is not only a celebration of what they have accomplished, but a clarion call to their future. For some, the direction is clear. For others, the future is still unfolding. But one thing is certain. In the moments of hope and joy, in the moments of grief and anxiety, you have promised to be with them, to nourish them as a vine nourishes the branch. We read in the book of Psalms, the law of the Lord is perfect, refreshing the soul. The decree of the Lord is trustworthy, giving wisdom to the simple. The precepts of the Lord are right, rejoicing the heart. The command of the Lord is clear, enlightening the eye. We ask and pray that your law may refresh, guide, rejoice, and enlighten our graduates this day and every day of their lives. We joyfully make this prayer a thanksgiving and blessing because you, our loving God, live and reign in our lives, now and forever. Amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed?
Please be seated. On behalf of the University of Dayton community, I extend a very warm welcome to everyone assembled here today. At this time, I'm pleased to introduce Andrew Strauss, Dean of the School of Law, who will now address the graduates. Dean Strauss.
Thank you, Provost Benson. On behalf of the faculty and staff, it is my great privilege to welcome you to the commencement exercises for the class of 2018. To commend our students for their academic accomplishments, both inside and outside the classroom. Before proceeding, I want to take a moment to honor Professors Jim Durham and Charlie Hallinan, both of whom are retiring after this commencement. Together, they have taught a combined total of 73 years at the University of Dayton. Professors Durham and Hallinan will both be remembered for their tremendous formative contribution in helping to create the thriving institution we have today. What's more, along with the other retirements we have had over the last several years, they represent a changing of the guard, the end of our last direct connection with the founding generation responsible for the reopening of our law school in 1974. I also wish to make mention of Mary Madoski. Mary, who is retiring this year, has been the campus minister for the School of Law for the last 5 years. She has been a great source of spiritual support for our students, faculty, and staff, and for me personally. She will be very much missed. We are here today to celebrate commencement. The root commence, which according to Webster's means to make a beginning, implies a start and not an end. So what is today the start of? My answer to that question may appear paradoxical only a few days after finishing your final exams. But it is the start of your learning. Certainly that is true in the narrow but important sense that it is the start of your learning for the bar exam in July. But students, or alumni now, please don't feel you need to begin until after lunch. Seriously though, in the broader sense, it is the beginning of your learning as a lawyer. Yes, of course, you have learned a great deal in law school. I am always heartened to hear, particularly in the first semester, students talk about the incline of their learning curve, about how on day one they thought a tort was a dessert, consideration had to do with etiquette, and Iraq was the mispronunciation of a country in the Middle East. Sometime during the course of law school, however, an alchemy takes place, and by its end you are transformed into someone with a legal mind, which is to say, someone who knows how to learn the law. That is the key. You know how to learn the law. You don't know the law. The reported digest of Ohio alone, a tiny fraction of the law, take up 442 volumes on our library shelves. The law is so vast that each of you will by necessity end up specializing in some small corner of its universe, and you will spend the rest of your lives learning the contours of that corner's geography. And this is what is so exciting about our profession. You have the opportunity to grow and learn throughout your entire professional lives. But like any opportunity, the full extent to which you seize upon it will be up to you. If you are a criminal defense attorney arguing a suppression motion, you can use the same template for a Fourth Amendment violation you have used many times before, or you can creatively analogize the unique facts in your case to a new theory of the law based upon emerging developments. If you are a transactional attorney forming a new corporation for clients, you can mark up old articles and bylaws and create a generic structure, or you can research alternative approaches to tailoring the governance structure exactly to the needs of the parties to the transaction. But there is a broader challenge to continuing to learn the law that I hope you will all also consider. By virtue of being the sole intermediaries between the state's laws and its citizens, we lawyers are given the special privilege of being public citizens. And we act in our role as public citizens every time we exercise influence in the public square, whether it be as public officials, legal educators, which I hope some of you will consider, or influential supporters of causes. Meeting the learning challenges of being a public citizen is the exact opposite of mastering our own specialized corner of the legal universe. It calls for broad knowledge of history, theology, economics, and social theory, as well as developments in culture, science, and the arts. Only with the integrated mastery of such knowledge will you be able to fully and wisely help guide your fellow citizens towards the attainment of a more perfect union, as so many lawyers have done before you. Again, at UDSL, you have learned how to learn to think thus broadly about law and public policy. To take just one example that is very important to a Catholic Marianist legal education, the application of theories of justice. In constitutional law, you have considered how varied philosophical understandings of justice applied to individuals in different situations play out in the Equal Protection Clause. In contracts, you have wrestled with whether historical theories of justice require that mutual agreements be enforced, no matter how seemingly inequitable the results. And in torts, you have asked whether placing the cost of accidents on the economically most efficient risk avoider should prevail over foundational notions of fairness. The great lawyers of the world, Abraham Lincoln, Mahatma Gandhi, Barbara Jordan, Nelson Mandela, and Sandra Day O'Connor, have thought broadly about society and its relationship to law. You all, however, have an amazing ability to learn broadly that these historical figures never had. When Abraham Lincoln learned the classics, he famously read by candlelight dog-eared copies of Shakespeare, the Iliad, and Euclid's work on geometry. But today, the internet revolution has totally transformed the way we acquire knowledge. Even since I graduated from law school, and I'm not as old as Abraham Lincoln. For the first time in history, you have the ability to easily access the whole of human learning, literally at your fingertips, from the Hammurabi Code to Kanzai to St. Augustine to particle physics. And you can do this seamlessly as you walk your dog, get dressed in the morning, or commute to work. No more trekking on camel to the one library in Alexandria. This means that instead of being brought down to the lowest common denominator by, for example, spending your time watching talking heads on cable channels, you have the opportunity to counter the descent to the norm. You have the opportunity each and every day to build upon the methodology of higher learning that we have taught you at UDSL. As public citizens, this learning will allow you to raise the level of civic discourse, and it will allow you to grow as a whole person. Most importantly, it will keep you honest. This is vital. Our politics and institutions produce many untruths, and the quest to find what is true in a deep way, to mine our greatest cultural veins in the search for what is authentic, is a seeker's antidote to succumbing to the forces of those untruths. May you all, class of 2018, lead a career in life dedicated to continued learning in the pursuit of truth. Godspeed, and thank you.
Thank you, Dean Strauss. Today, there is much to be proud of as we gather to honor our graduates. At this ceremony, we will award 78 degrees. Each of these graduates knows the critical role that professors and staff members have played in making their graduation possible. It is with great pleasure that I introduce the members of the faculty and staff who are present and invite them to stand and be recognized by all of us. Dean Strauss will now present the special awards.
Each year, Dayton Law honors a student who has enriched the law school community by promoting community service and social justice with the Brother Raymond Fitz Student Leader for Justice Award. The award is given to a student who has followed in the footsteps of the award's namesake, Brother Fitz, who served as UD president, by actively seeking ways to better the world. This year's recipient is a student whose outstanding community service represents the best of our Catholic and Marianist tradition. Will Tim Hill please stand in front of your seat and be recognized? I am very pleased to be presenting the Brother Fitz Student Leader for Justice Award to Tim Hill. I have had the privilege to know Tim over his time here at the University of Dayton School of Law, and I want to say that Tim has been a tremendous addition and inspiration to our community. Tim has served as a Dean's Fellow for the past 2 years, working one-on-one with our first-year students. He has related to me his own trepidations as he first entered law school, and out of an empathy born of his experience, he has taken it upon himself to do everything he could to help the smooth acculturation of other new students into UDSL. As one professor noted, I was never surprised to hear one of my students say, "Tim has been helping me," because Tim helped everyone, quietly and without fanfare. He was always more than willing to share his time and talent and experiences with a struggling student. Tim, a member of the Black Law Students Association, has personified servant leadership in the Catholic Marianist tradition. Like Brother Raymond Fitz, Tim, you will always be remembered for your hard work, compassion, and generosity. Thank you, Tim, for your inspirational service to our community. Seven years ago, Dayton Law's Student Bar Association created the Lisa Kloppenburg Outstanding Leadership Award to recognize a graduating student who has made a significant contribution to the School of Law, has been a star in the classroom, and has shown a substantial commitment to public service and community engagement. Will Beth Herdman please stand in front of your seat and be recognized? I am proud to be awarding the Lisa A. Kloppenburg Outstanding Leadership Award to this year's Executive President of the Student Bar Association, Beth Herdman. In addition to serving as the President of the Student Bar Association, Beth has also served as President of the Human Rights Awareness and Advocacy Group, as Student Representative for the American Bar Association, and as an officer of the Women's Caucus. Additionally, she was a board member of the Dayton Law's Volunteer Student Law Project and performed more than 200 hours of pro bono service. When we asked one of Beth's professors to talk about Beth's contributions, her response was, "How much time do we have?" In describing Beth, she says, "Somehow, with all of the stresses and concurrence of law school, she has managed, like our former dean Lisa Kloppenburg, for whom this award is named, to do all of those things with unfailing warmth, grace, and good humor. Beth, your generosity of spirit and time, generosity of time and spirit has made Keller Hall a better place to learn, lead, and serve. Thank you, and congratulations." Academic excellence is at the very mission of the University of Dayton and its law school. It is now my distinct pleasure to introduce an example of student leadership through academic excellence, Ann Charles Watt. Ann is one of 4 students who make up this year's graduating class, first graduating class of our Leadership Honors Program. The program is designed to prepare students to be leaders in the legal profession, and no one personifies such leadership better than Ann Charles. In the words of the director's program, Susan Waros, Ann contributed greatly to the program through her strong sense of community, as well as by approaching each aspect of the program with integrity, dedication, and creativity. In her time here at the law school, Ann Charles has won 12 Cali Awards. 12 Cali Awards. Which, for those of you who are unfamiliar, are given to the top student in each class. She was also the comment editor on Law Review and a Spanish translator for our immigration law clinic. Ann Charles came to the law school after working as a nonprofit fundraiser and an organizational development consultant for more than a decade. She says the work inspired her to want to help guide individuals through the process of ensuring that the future of their families, their businesses, and the causes they cared most deeply about are secure. She is very excited to be joining the Dayton office of Dinsmore and Scholl this fall as an estate planning attorney. But first, she will share some parting thoughts with us today. Ann, thank you.
Thank you, Dean Strauss. E pluribus unum, out of many, one. This simple phrase, our nation's first motto, was meant to unite a burgeoning democracy in the aftermath of the Revolutionary War. It said to the colonies, "Come, be a part of something bigger. Bring your unique values and experiences to bear for the Union." On this most anticipated day, E pluribus unum could serve as our motto too. From various cultural, geographic, and socioeconomic backgrounds, we came to the University of Dayton School of Law to pursue a common dream. Whether we chose a 2-year, 2.5-year, or 3-year course of study, we all spent more than 1,200 hours in the classroom and 3,700 hours studying, which brought us to this moment, where we graduate together. Out of many students, we have become one class, E pluribus unum. Today, I am thrilled to set aside my ever-so-stylish rolling backpack, my 40-something Hermione Granger-esque tendencies, and my Summer Start membership card to represent UDSL's entire brilliant class of 2018. Little did we know when this journey began just how few answers we would find along the way. In fact, after 6 grueling semesters, the one thing we all came to understand is that regardless of what the authors of the MBE may claim, the answer to virtually every legal question really is, it depends. We have not so much learned the law as we have learned to navigate the vast mercurial waters where law dwells. Despite Chief Justice Marshall's assertion that it is emphatically the province and duty of the Judicial Department to say what the law is, we know now that case law is but one element of the law. Common law, the restatements, state and federal statutes, the Constitution and its state counterparts, even at some level, our nation's collective consciousness all play a part in determining what the law is. E pluribus unum could serve as a perfect metaphor for the practice of law itself. And here we are. As rewarding as it may have been to accumulate those 90-plus credit hours of legal education, it was no cakewalk, as our professors can attest. And life did not stop in the meantime. Our class faced literal fires and floods. Through good health and bad, marriage and divorce, the blessing of children and the loss of parents, we have pressed on, finding strength and solace in one another, our families, and our faith. Physical and emotional setbacks of all kinds did not break us, but revealed the great depth of our own resilience, the healing power of our communities. We have learned the meaning of perseverance, as have our families. Late nights, early mornings, weekends away, the tolerance and generosity of our partners, parents, children, and friends lent us the stability we needed to make it to this day. But for the efforts of countless supporters, professors, practitioners, and personal champions, we would not be here. This accomplishment is not ours alone, but theirs as well. E pluribus unum. Of course, in the grand scheme of things, our sacrifices were few. Whether we hang our hats on the Second Amendment or the First, the 13th or the 19th, we belong to a people who have strived and will continue to strive for a more perfect union. We look to the heroes who came before us and took their fights for justice to the courts. Some won, some lost, but even those who lost their lives and their freedom planted seeds of liberty for their successors to water, and our nation grew. We grew in love. We grew in equality. We grew in peace, understanding, and hope. And we continue to grow. In the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. And at the forefront of every great legal battle of our time have been people committed to the practice of law. People who bring reason, creativity, and perspective to the fight for freedom and justice. We, the class of 2018, are the next generation of scientists in this great American experiment, catalysts for positive change built on the firm foundation of democracy. We, the people, e pluribus unum. As such, we set forth today in pursuit of so much more than legal careers. On this, our first day as Juris Doctors, we set forth in pursuit of liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
It is now my great pleasure to welcome and introduce our speaker today, Raymond J. McGuire. Mr. McGuire is the global head of corporate and investment banking for Citigroup in New York City. His august title belies his humble beginnings right here in Dayton. Mr. McGuire, raised by his mother, a social worker, grew up on Garth Street in West Dayton. He went to Irving Elementary School and later earned a scholarship to Miami Valley High School, where he worked during the summer making boxes in the basement at Field's Dress Shop on Main Street before transferring to the Hotchkiss School in Connecticut for his junior and senior years. He then went on to Harvard College, where he graduated cum laude in 1979, and then to Harvard Law School and Harvard Business School, where he graduated with a combined JD and MBA in 1984. In law school, Mr. Maguire clerked for the law firms of Patterson Belknap and Skadden Arps. But Merle Wilberding of the Dayton law firm of Coolidge Law and a member of my Dean's Advisory Council gave Mr. Maguire his first law job right here in Dayton. He started as a runner in 1973 for Merle, and later Merle hired him as a summer associate after his first year of law school in 1980. Mr. Maguire career took off right after graduation from Law and Business School with a coveted position in mergers and acquisitions at the First Boston Corporation. From there, it was a dizzying rise in American finance. To Wasserstein Perella, where he became a partner and managing director in 1981, to Merrill Lynch, where he became a managing director in the Mergers and Acquisitions Group in 1993, to Morgan Stanley, where he became co-head of Mergers and Acquisitions in 2000, and finally, in 2005, to his current position at Citigroup. Today, Mr. Maguire sits at the pinnacle of the global economy. Yet, despite one of the most brutal schedules in American finance, an industry not known for its laid-back ways, he has found the time and energy to serve others. The next time someone asks you to lend a hand and you are inclined to turn them down with the excuse that you are too busy, think of this. He is a trustee of the American Museum of Natural History. He is a trustee of the Alex Hillman Family Foundation. He is a member of the board of the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace. He is a trustee and member of the executive committee of the New York Presbyterian Hospital. He is a trustee of the New York Public Library. He is chairman of the board of the Studio Museum in Harlem. He is a trustee of the City Foundation. He is a trustee of the Harvard Club of New York. He is a trustee of the Hotchkiss School. He is a trustee of the New York City Police Foundation. And he is a member of the executive committee of the Whitney Museum of American Art, to name a few, literally. President Spina, Provost Benson, ladies and gentlemen, class of 2018, please join me in welcoming Raymond Maguire back to Dayton.
Thank you for that most generous introduction. It sounds like my mother wrote it and my wife edited it. This is a fairly serious crowd. If Eper, Bashunam, and Juris Doctor, and Oliver Wendell Holmes, and Martin Luther King Jr., and Potter Stewart, and it's a beautiful day here in Dayton. To add a little levity, I was in line and I met a judge. Do you hear the one about the difference between a good lawyer and a great lawyer? A good lawyer knows the law. A great lawyer knows the judge. Judge, it's good to see you. I am honored and humbled to be here. Thank you to the faculty and staff for all that you do. President Spina, Dean Strauss, Provost Benston, Father Fitz, a special thank you to Susan Elliott, and to my long-standing friend and mentor, the wise counselor. He's been referenced before, Merle Wilberding from the Coolidge firm. Merle, thank you. My family and I, my older brother and one of my youngest nephews was here. We're especially grateful, my 92-year-old mother, for the opportunity that your firm and you gave me some 40 years or so ago. I was a runner for the Coolidge firm. It meant that I went from getting one document signed at one courthouse to get another document signed at another courthouse, and that for me was a pretty big thing coming from the neighborhood. So thank you for that, and to the graduates and your families and guests. Let us first acknowledge that neither I nor you would be here without the steady hand of grace and the love and care and sacrifice of those fathers, yes, but especially the aunts, the sisters, the grandparents, and dearest of them all, the mothers. Now, many of you may be wondering, why me? Why does this man have the offer to these graduates of this great institution? I could tell you that I'm here because I could give you insightful career advice on how to navigate a highly competitive corporate work environment. I could tell you that is because I've learned the law working under and alongside some of the best legal minds on the planet, whether it be how to draft the best representations and warranties, negotiate the tightest contract language, or conduct myself in the boardroom, or how to advise the most sophisticated and demanding clients. I could tell you that it is because the record shows that I have a storied 30-plus year career on Wall Street, where I've been involved in more than $600 billion worth of corporate mergers and acquisitions, transactions. I could tell you that because of the blessing that I've had, that I've been able to give back and to be philanthropic. But all of that you can read. Perhaps I am here because of the beginning of my story. The beginning of each of our stories is the same because the essence of that beginning is our character. It is the non-negotiable that helps us to manage my one and only topic today, which is life's defining moments. Graduation today is indeed one of the most important of those defining moments. There will be others, only a few. How I've handled those defining moments and how you handle those moments will be heavily influenced by your and our beginning. It will be heavily influenced by your training. As for your beginning, it starts here at this graduation. As for my beginning, well, I started my journey somewhere close to where you're starting. Well, almost identical geography, but completely different circumstances. I grew up riding my bike around this complex in its early days. Our house was but a mile or so from here, down the road a bit, at the end of what they now call Edwin Moses Boulevard. It was on a street called Garce Street, Cincinnati and Garce, across from what was then the Howard Paper Mill. I am quite certain that most of you have never ventured that far. That was deep into the neighborhood on a dead-end street which ended at the levee. And as kids, we were excited when we saw the big earth movers arrive and concrete poured for the highway. They call it urban renewal, or rather urban renewal. Urban renewal eliminated my neighborhood. There are now but memories, souvenirs of a long past wonderful youth. It was in that neighborhood that I was raised by a single mother, a social worker, and our grandparents. Because of my dear mother, we had all the essentials that money could buy: food and clothing and rent. But more importantly, we had all the riches that money could not buy: love and honor and faith and respect and truth. In 5th grade at Irving Elementary, now a parking lot, my teacher saw that I had some academic talent, so she encouraged me to apply to private school in Kettering, the Miami Valley School. It was where the wealthiest kids sent their kids, or wealthiest families sent their kids. We didn't have the money for tuition, so the school gave me a scholarship. And over time, I became the school president, captain of the basketball team, and number one in my class with a 4.0 average. When I got to the 11th grade, my teacher challenged me and said that if I were as good as they said I was, that I should go and test myself against the big boys in the East. So at 16 years old, by myself, I left home, flew to Connecticut, and took a Greyhound bus around New England looking at boarding schools. Ultimately, I decided to go to the Hotchkiss School. From there, I applied to 6 colleges: Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Johns Hopkins, Amherst, and Northwestern. I got into all 6. I decided to go to Harvard College. And after Harvard College, I went on to spend a year in France on a Rotary Fellowship. I then came back and completed business school and law school at Harvard. Now I run a $20+ billion global finance business. I'm privileged because of the life that I've been able to live and the lesson that it has taught me. Like the ones that you got here, the lessons are ones of endurance and courage and perseverance, perhaps for some against the odds. These are the lessons of character. And as for the training, I started off wanting to be a lawyer, influenced by a television character, Perry Mason. While I practiced for a while, Reed Summer, the experience has been permanent in all that I do. Some of the most important lessons that I've learned on this journey were the ones that I learned in law school. In addition to learning how to digest and interpret reams of reading material with limited sleep and imminent deadlines in classrooms with some of the smartest people on the planet, all making a concerted effort to put their intellects on display and explain one to the other the rules against perpetuity and the 6 laws of contracts, and whether or not you can be convicted of a crime if you shoot a dead body 2 hours after it was dead, if you didn't know that it was dead, whether or not you can bring a tortious action against little Brian Daly, who at a backyard barbecue pulls a chair from under Aunt Ruth, causing her to slip and fall. And while falling, Aunt Ruth hits the water hose that flies up and breaks Mr. Gass's newly installed window. And all kinds of other not relevant for anything other than law school debates material. What you should have learned in law school beyond the black letter and spirit of the law, notwithstanding all of the jokes and constant malignment, that being a lawyer is one of the most revered privileges. The law remains one of the most noble undertakings. It holds a place that is above personal loyalties, partisan politics. Why are these lessons in law school, why are they so important? Today, the world faces unprecedented uncertainty. In some of the largest and fastest growing economies, the rule of law is sometimes non-existent. Graft is a way of the culture. Democracies as we know them are being challenged. There are very few anchors on which to hold. In this fast-paced, digital, complex world, your reputation can be made or destroyed by one Facebook posting, or your lives altered, or your reputation irreparably damaged by a misunderstood quote. There is a debate between real news and fake news. We have normalized the sensational and heretofore unconscionable. Checks and balances on which we have relied in this great democracy are being questioned. Many of our traditional societal and community anchors have been compromised. Partisanship has rendered us almost dysfunctional. The one institution in Western society on which we rely and in which we have confidence is the institution of law. From this day forward, it is a public trust which you will represent. So when the hard times and dark nights descend as they will, when you are faced with defining moments, what will determine your legacy in the lives that you lead and the lives that we lead is your character and the boundaries of your moral compass. They are reflected in the spirit of the law and the foundation of your legal training, which today we celebrate. As I reflect over the years and the moments of definition, and as you embark on your careers, whether they be as active practitioners or as clients, there are lessons which you can apply, and they are as follows. Your family is the most important success that you will ever have. Give them your most precious gifts, your love and your time. Gain respect through how well you practice, and admiration through the deeds that you do as a result. Be slow to give your word. You never have the option to compromise it. Your moral compass is non-negotiable. And finally, remember the communities in which we live, the corporations and institutions where we work, the governments where we serve, and which govern all have as their ultimate arbiter the one inviolate of which you are steward, the law. Without the law, we are without a compass. With it, we can all believe, as the great William Cuthbert Faulkner wrote in his Nobel Laureate acceptance speech, and Shakespeare's Lear lived it, and kind will not only endure, he will prevail. The honor is mine to be with you on this most hallowed day. Congratulations. May the covenant of grace and peace be with you now and forevermore. May the law keep us safe and on the moral high ground. Congratulations, graduates.
Thank you very much, Mr. McGuire. At this time, our president, Dr. Spina, and Dean Strauss will confer the degrees upon the graduates of the class of 2018. Dean Strauss.
Will the candidates for the degree of Master in the Study of Law please rise? Will the candidates for the degree of Juris Doctor please rise? President Spina, it gives me great pleasure to present the candidates who have completed all of the requirements prescribed by the faculty of the School of Law for their respective degrees, and to recommend them as worthy of being awarded the degree for which they have been approved.
Honorable Dean Strauss, in my own name, in the name of the University of Dayton, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the University of Dayton and the State of Ohio, I confer upon the candidates the degree for which they have been approved.
Recipients of the degree of Master of Laws: Abdullah Hassan El Faraj, Pro Bono Award. Naif Ben Sohaim. Khadija Farhamand. Jack A. Pook. Recipients of the degree of Juris Doctor, John R. Altice. Matthew Joseph Altick, Pro Bono Award. Jagan Paul Arnold, Pro Bono Award. Sarah Elizabeth Barger. Andrew Ray Barnes. Daniel J. Behrens, Jr. Jessica Taylor Shea Bernard, Academic Honors. Hillary Law Borton. Mark James Byrne. Kiara Michelle Carbajada Sierra, Pro Bono Award. Manuel Cordona. Jacob A. Carnahan. Julie McGregor Karstens. Leslie Collins. Ebony Devon Davenport. Jennifer Bailey Elam.
Alexandria Marie Esposito, Academic Honors, Pro Bono Award, and Leadership Honors Program. Dylan Shane Ballas, Pro Bono Award. Michael Raymond Gabe. Brittany May Gorsuch. Angela Megan Gray. Elizabeth Ann Herdman, Pro Bono Award. Timothy Hill. Connor K. Hollis. Zachary M. Holscher, Academic Honors. Amid Mahmood Talab. Dana Jalanbo, Pro Bono Award. Aubrey Lane Tiger Academic Honors. Sena Hussein. Alexandra Lane Geringer. Brittany Lee Larkin. Nicholas J. Larry. Ashton R. Lester. John Matthias Lentz Pro Bono Award. Alexander R. Loper. Tulu Mahani.
Joseph Roth Mezer. Surah Mohan. Kelly J. Montero. Christopher William Neely. Dustin Michael Norfolk Pro Bono Award. Matthew Christopher Notaro Pro Bono Award. Theodore William Oatman. Joseph Jonathan Paley. John Sayer Payne, Academic Honors, Leadership Honors Program. Sean Michael Perez, Pro Bono Award. Charles Dean Pfister, Pro Bono Award. Stephen Thomas D. Potts. Megan Elizabeth Pratchler. Catherine A. Ritchie Pro Bono Award. Michael David Richardson. Elizabeth Catherine Regal. Crystal Renee Rosado. Rochelle Yanger Samakai Pro Bono Award. Anthony C. Saturino, Academic Honors.
Kevin Allen Scharf. Stephanie Jessica Schmalz, Academic Honors and Pro Bono Award. Chelsea R. Scheckmer Hinson. Caroline Eloisa Silva Pro Bono Award. Daniel Vincent Simons. Shauna Michelle Sorrell, Academic Honors. Jacob J. Stevens, Pro Bono Award. Andre Tirado, Leadership Honors Program. Michael R. Walzak, Pro Bono Award. Tanner Vaughn Wall. Ashley E. Warwar, Academic Honors and Pro Bono Award. Ann Charles Watts, Academic Honors, Pro Bono Award, and Leadership Honors Program. Ashton Elizabeth Weavy. Daniel Leonard Wells, Pro Bono Award. Jana Marie Wendell. Patricia Ann Wilkinson. Philip Athel Worsham, Jr. Olivia Kirsten Rencher, Pro Bono Award. Louis Anthony Zambelli III.
Congratulations, graduates. You've now earned the right to transfer your tassel to the left side of your cap. At this time, I would like to introduce Adam Armstrong, a 2005 alumnus of the University of Dayton School of Law and president of our School of Law Alumni Association. Mr. Armstrong.
Congratulations, graduates, and welcome to the University of Dayton School of Law Alumni Association. My name is Adam Armstrong. I am a 2005 graduate and the current president of the UDSL Alumni Association. When I was sitting in your seat about 13 years ago, I wasn't thinking anything about being an alum. I had one singular focus, that was passing the bar exam. After I crossed that final hurdle, which I'm confident all of you will too, I became involved in the Alumni Association through a phone call from the then president, Steve Uhas. Steve reminded me that I was a part of a network of now over 5,845 alumni living and working around the world, alumni of all faiths, all nationalities, and all interests. The primary mission of the Alumni Association is keeping you connected to the law school and to each other, and to remind you that your experience at UDSL will last a lifetime. Rather than calling each of you in a year as I was called, which I still may do, I'm asking you now to stay connected and remain involved with UDSL. And it's easy to do. It's easy to remain involved with UDSL and each other in a variety of ways. As an alum, you can now nominate students to become a part of the Leadership Honors Program and become mentors to current students. You can connect on social media, read the Dayton docket, stay connected with career services, provide externships to current students, become a member of the Alumni Association Board of Trustees, present at our free annual Alumni CLE, help us plan our annual scholarship golf outing. The list goes on. As you reach a transition in life, let the Alumni Association and the law school know. And although you are a student for a relatively short period of time, you were always a part of UDSL. University of Dayton School of Law has a rich history, and we are each a part of that history. Look around you. You are connected to graduates from this Catholic and Marianist University and share in many UDSL memories. It is those memories and the lasting relationship you have made here that will stay with you during your professional careers. Of course, you will make new friends as you go into the world and make new relationships. And some of you will stay in closer touch with the law school than others. But all of you carry with you the mission of service and scholarship, and as you progress in your careers, the communities you live and work in will look to you to be the next leaders. As lawyers, embrace those opportunities to carry on the mission of service to your clients and your communities. Part of the history that affects us all is that we, you, my classmates, the thousands before us, are beneficiaries of the generosity of our alumni. Their gifts, and not just of money, but time, no matter the size, have an impact on all of us as students. I call on you today to continue that legacy. Stay engaged through volunteering your time, your expertise, and your gifts that continue to preserve, improve, and expand the educational opportunities for the next generation to come. So here is to you and the next step in your professional journeys, and we all look forward to celebrating your many successes. Welcome again to the University of Dayton School of Law Alumni Association. Thank you, and go past that bar.
Thank you, Adam. As this commencement ceremony draws to a close, the University of Dayton marks 168 years of service to our students. We congratulate and salute you, the family and friends of today's graduates, for the important role that you have played to support these students during their matriculation at UD. Let's give all of you our thanks. And to the class of 2018, we salute you for your achievements and wish each of you well in your life's journey. Immediately following today's ceremony, you're cordially invited to a reception honoring the graduates at the School of Law. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the benediction offered by one of today's graduates, Stephanie Schmaltz. Please remain in your places until our guests have left the stage and the academic procession has cleared the main aisle. Thank you so very much for attending.
This prayer invokes St. Thomas More as the patron saint of lawyers, asking him for the grace so that we, the class of 2018, may rise to the highest standard in our profession. Let us pray. St. Thomas More, counselor of law, example of integrity, and most human of saints, pray for the glory of God and in the pursuit of his justice, that I may be trustworthy with confidences, keen in study, accurate in analysis, correct in conclusion, able in argument, loyal to clients, honest with all, courteous to my adversaries, and ever attentive to my conscience. Sit with me at my desk and listen with me to my clients' tales. Read with me in my library and stand beside me so that today I shall not, to win a point, lose my soul. Pray that my family may find in me what yours found in you: friendship and courage, cheerfulness and charity, diligence and duty, counsel in adversity, and patience in pain. May God bless and keep the members of the class of 2018, our families, the University of Dayton community, and all those who have made this day possible. May he smile upon you and give you peace now and forevermore. Amen.